The NBA is about to blow up. And because of that, the Atlanta Hawks are about to get significantly better because there are moves and rumors out there that if the Atlanta Hawks are able to execute, that will make them a contending team right now. Now, I say the NBA is about to blow up because there is a lot of movement or potential movement that is about to happen. We've seen small moves happen already, such as D'Angelo Russell or Dennis Schroeder or even Mike Brown being fired as a head coach. But I think that this will get even larger as we get closer to that February 6th deadline. Now, how can the Atlanta Hawks get better, and what moves are there out there for them to get not from here, but into championship contention? Now, the one big blockbuster move that I think that the Atlanta Hawks could make, and is actually very feasible, is to the Denver Nuggets, and that's trading for Michael Porter Jr. What can Michael Porter Jr. offer the Atlanta Hawks? It can offer them security. They can offer them elite shooting, and they can offer them a young wing, a young big wing that can help surround Trae Young when in times of when we need defense. Michael Porter Jr. is basically, I think, a finished project or the finished product of Zachary Richeshay. Can you imagine a 6'10" shooter pairing along with Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, and maybe even, whoever, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, all of that in the same lineup? That is a recipe for success. I also think that this move will allow Zachary Richeshay to move into that second unit, something that we've seen helped out DeAndre Hunter a lot. And because of this, you won't have to really give that much up to make this happen. Now, the trade includes, it'll be Michael Porter Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and Hunter Tyson. Hunter Tyson's thrown in just to make the money work. For Clint Capella, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Cody Zeller. Also, there'll be 2 second-round picks thrown on top of this. Now, why would the Denver Nuggets want to do this? Number one, they've been looking to get rid of Michael Porter because of salary and also because of the future of this team. They're like, we have players who are very similar to Michael Porter, and we can have essentially a replacement. Also, us trading in Bogdan Bogdanovic, this will allow the Denver Nuggets to get cheaper. Bogdan Bogdanovic is about an $18 million contract a year, and they'll get somewhat similar shooting for a cheaper player. And also, this will allow the Denver Nuggets to get Clint Capella, a guy that will help Jokic defend and be that post presence that they've been looking for a long time. Now, this also will help the Atlanta Hawks because back we get DeAndre Jordan, and we'll basically propel Onyeka Okongwu to that starting lineup. And if we need support or any net backup, or if we run into a team with a very dominant post player, I think DeAndre Jordan can do a great job of not only maintaining him, but also holding him. He's also a rim runner that can help and that can basically pair along with Trae Young. So there's a lot of value for both teams. Denver, they get cheaper. They still get a good scorer, a good shooter, but also they get 2 second-round picks. The Atlanta Hawks, they get their big shooting wing of the future because he's under contract for 3 years at 30 plus million. I think that this is a blockbuster trade, and if the Atlanta Hawks are able to pull this together, yes, they would lose Bogdan Bogdanovic, yes, they would lose Clint Capella, but they would get a shooter that fits the mold of Quinn Snyder and this Atlanta Hawks basketball team. Trade blockbuster or blockbuster rumor number 2. This isn't as complicated from pieces wise, but this is a big time trade, and that is the Indiana Pacers trading Myles Turner to the Atlanta Hawks for Clint Capella and a first-round pick coming from Sacramento. Why would the Indiana Pacers do this? Because Myles Turner is on his last year of his deal. There have been always rumors and trade speculations for Myles Turner, and there's just a lot going on. And some people say he may not re-sign with the Indiana Pacers. He may look for money elsewhere. Now, why would the Atlanta Hawks do this? Number one, they get their shooting big that they've always wanted going forward. I mean, it's a guy that can not only run to the rim, he's not a guy that can only play defense, but he also can shoot that three with Trae Young, and that's a phenomenal pairing. I think having him out there on the floor, spreading the floor, but also being able to defend at an elite level, this will help the Atlanta Hawks be championship contenders. And I think this is a great move. Indiana Pacers will also get a first rounder as they move on, as they look toward the future. Actually, this team is not really good right now. They can get some assets and get some potential draft capital in the future. And the Atlanta Hawks, like I said, giving up that first rounder, they still have an additional first rounder for the Lakers this year. And I think all in all, it's a pretty even trade, pretty even salary. And I think this will help both teams going forward. And like I said, give Indiana Pacers Clint Capella, who is a phenomenal rebounding big that people need at the next level. That's just me, but I think it works. Third rumor is not as high flashy as the other two rumors, but it's something that the Atlanta Hawks simply need, and that is a backup point guard. Now, this trading involves Jevon Carter from the Chicago Bulls. We know what kind of player he is because he scored 25 plus against us recently, but more specifically, he could be that backup point guard that we need going forward. He's a guy that is not basically a diva, so to speak. He's a guy that comes in and works, and he will play the minutes that you give him. We've seen the Chicago Bulls play him very sparingly, but when he plays, he scores and makes plays. And so we need that on the Atlanta Hawks. We need a guy in the second unit who can initiate the offense. And I think Javon Carter can do that. I think he's a really good player that the Atlanta Hawks really need, especially with Kobe Buffkin injured for the rest of the season or potentially. We need someone to run that second unit. I love Veet, but he's not a point guard. He can't run that second unit. And I think Javon Carter can be that guy that runs the second unit. Now, the trade is very simple. We would have to give up much for the Atlanta Hawks, and that is David Rodney and 2 second-round picks. Why would the Bulls do this? It's because the future draft capital. You get 2 second-round picks for Javon Carter, a guy that up until about 4 or 5 games ago didn't play too much. It just makes sense for both sides. And this is something that I think will work and help both teams. Now, those are my quote-unquote trade, quote-unquote rumors. Like I said, something big is brewing in the NBA. And as we start to see little pieces of dominoes fall, don't be shocked if you see the big domino fall. And because of that, or because of just the movement going around, the Atlanta Hawks are able to capitalize and get a great player that will help them out going forward. But if you agree or disagree, leave a comment down below. Let me know. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here where I detail a little bit more about some Clint Capella trades because apparently he is on the move. And like always, peace.